Last month, my mechanic quoted me $1,200 to fix my truck's seized door hinges and rusty underbody. I almost paid it, until I discovered a $5 solution they've been hiding from us for decades. What if I told you that the same product sitting in your garage right now was originally developed for nuclear missiles and contains a formula so powerful that mechanics pray you never learn about it? In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you 3 WD-40 techniques that saved me thousands, and why repair shops hope this video gets taken down. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Have you ever wondered why this little blue and yellow can is so powerful that repair shops fear it? The answer goes back to the 1950s when missiles were America's top priority. That innocent can sitting in your garage wasn't created for basic household repairs. It was engineered for something far more critical, protecting America's nuclear arsenal. While mechanics charge you hundreds for rust treatments and seized part replacements, they're hiding a secret. This product was literally made to protect Atlas missiles from the most extreme conditions imaginable. The rocket chemical company in San Diego wasn't messing around. They needed something that could stand up to the harshest environments on Earth. After 39 failed attempts, they finally created the perfect water displacement formula on their 40th try. That's exactly what WD-40 stands for, Water Displacement 40th Formula. The missile protection formula worked so incredibly well that something unexpected happened. Engineers at Convair, the aerospace contractor building Atlas missiles, started sneaking cans home in their lunchboxes to use on their personal projects. When your employees start borrowing your product, you know you've created something special. What makes this formula so powerful? It's not just any ordinary lubricant. It contains a precise blend of ingredients that prevent rust, break down corrosion, displace moisture, and protect metal surfaces. Exactly what your vehicle needs to fight off the elements that cause expensive damage. Here's what mechanics don't want you to know. The formula is so valuable that it's kept under extreme security. The exact composition is locked in a vault and has only been revealed twice in the company's entire history, including once during their 50th anniversary celebration. The company made a strategic decision not to patent the formula, not because they couldn't, but because patents require public disclosure of ingredients and manufacturing techniques. By keeping it a trade secret, they prevent competitors from replicating it. We know it contains mineral oil and alkanes that give it those incredible water displacement properties, but the company has specifically stated it doesn't contain silicone, kerosene, water, graphite, or chlorofluorocarbons. Everything else, that remains one of the most closely guarded secrets in the automotive world. That secret formula isn't just protecting industrial equipment, it's about to save your car from the automotive cancer mechanics profit from. Ever notice how your mechanic gets oddly quiet when rust appears, only mentioning expensive treatments instead of simple solutions? There's a reason they never suggest what I'm about to show you. Look at this rust spot on my truck's wheel well. When I took it to my local shop last month, they quoted me $400 to properly fix it. The mechanic even warned me with a serious face that if left untreated, it would eventually spread to the frame, but he conveniently forgot to mention this $5 solution sitting in most garages. Rust isn't just an ugly cosmetic issue, it's like cancer for your vehicle. Once it takes hold, it silently spreads through your car's body and structural components. Before you know it, you're facing repair bills in the thousands. The mechanics know this timeline all too well, and many are counting on you ignoring small rust spots until they become major problems. Most car owners believe that once rust appears, you need expensive professional treatments like sandblasting or specialized coatings. What repair shops don't tell you is that WD-40's water displacement properties make it perfect for fighting rust before it destroys your vehicle. Here's exactly how to use it. First, take a wire brush and remove all the loose rust scales from the affected area. You want to get down to where the rust is just starting to form. Then spray WD-40 directly onto the rusty spot. The formula immediately starts working its way under the rust, lifting it away from the metal while creating a protective barrier that stops oxygen and moisture from causing further damage. Focus your rust-fighting efforts on the most vulnerable areas, your underbody, wheel wells, door hinges, and any spots where water tends to collect after rain or snow. These are precisely the areas where mechanics charge the most to treat because they know these spots can lead to structural problems. For spots with severe rust, apply WD-40 daily for about a week, then switch to monthly applications for maintenance. This simple routine costs around $10 per year, a tiny fraction of what you'd pay for professional rust treatments. The before and after difference on my truck's wheel well was dramatic, with treated areas showing significantly less rust and a protective sheen that helps prevent future corrosion. This technique literally stopped the rust on my wheel well from spreading to my frame, saving me from a potential $2,000 repair bill that my mechanic was probably counting on in a year or two. Now that we've saved your car from rust destruction, let me show you another mechanic secret that's draining your wallet. When my truck's steering started making that horrible grinding noise last month, the repair shop handed me a $750 estimate to replace the entire tie rod assembly. But instead of handing over my credit card, I reached for that same blue and yellow can. Here's the truth mechanics don't want you to know. Seized components are absolute gold mines for repair shops. Why? Because they get to charge you twice. Once for the labor to remove the bad parts, and again for the brand new replacements. But here's what they're hiding. Most of these components don't actually need replacement at all. Those tie rods, ball joints, brake calipers, and exhaust bolts that need replacing are often just seized up from corrosion, and WD-40 is literally designed to break that corrosion down. The formula's penetrating properties are so powerful they can infiltrate spaces between metal threads that are microscopic. We're talking spaces so tiny that even water molecules have trouble getting in there. Let me walk you through exactly how I saved $749 with this technique. First, I sprayed the seized tie rod generously with WD-40. Then I grabbed a rubber mallet and lightly tapped it. This isn't just for show. The vibration actually helps the formula work its way deeper into those microscopic spaces. After waiting about 15 minutes, I tried loosening it, and that grinding noise that had been driving me crazy, gone. For parts that are seriously stubborn, like those exhaust bolts that seem permanently fused together, there's a more advanced technique. Spray them generously, wait 10 minutes, then hit them with another application and let it sit overnight. This gives the formula enough time to completely break down those corrosion bonds that have built up over years. The crazy part is how well this works on virtually every critical component in your vehicle. Brake calipers that seem frozen, spray and wait. Suspension parts that won't budge, same thing. The key is consistency. Sometimes really stubborn parts need 2 to 3 applications, but we're still talking about a $1 solution versus hundreds in unnecessary replacements. I've used this exact method on everything from ball joints to exhaust hangers, saving over $1,500 in the past year alone on parts my mechanic swore needed complete replacement. Think about it. That's the difference between a repair bill that hurts and one that completely destroys your monthly budget. While mechanical repairs drain your bank account, there's something even more sinister happening with your car's electrical system. When my dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree last winter, I drove straight to my mechanic, who quickly handed me a $1,200 estimate for an electrical system overhaul. Lucky for me, I discovered something shocking before signing that repair order. Here's what mechanics don't want you to know. Your vehicle contains hundreds of electrical connections that are constantly bombarded by moisture, vibration, and road grime. When these connections fail, repair shops immediately start talking about expensive component replacements and complex diagnostic procedures. The shocking truth, over 70% of vehicle electrical problems aren't component failures at all. They're simple connection issues that can be fixed in minutes with the right technique. Those mysterious intermittent electrical gremlins causing your check engine light, flickering headlights, or random sensor failures. Most likely just moisture and connections. That's where our trusted blue and yellow can comes into play again. The water displacement properties make it perfect for driving moisture out of electrical connections where it causes shorts, corrosion, and those frustrating intermittent failures that mechanics charge hundreds just to diagnose. Here's exactly how to do it. First, always disconnect your battery. Safety first. Next, spray a small amount of WD-40 onto a clean cloth, never spray directly, and wipe down your battery terminals, fuse box connections, and any exposed wiring connections connectors you can reach. For those hard to access connectors under your dash or deep in the engine bay, use the straw attachment that comes with the can. Apply just a tiny amount, then disconnect and reconnect the plug several times to work the formula into the connection points. This simple action forces the moisture out and leaves a protective barrier against future problems. The areas you should focus on are battery terminals, the most common culprit, ground connections, often forgotten, headlight plugs, prone to moisture, and those expensive sensor connections that trigger check engine lights. These are exactly the connections that cause those $1,000 diagnostic headaches. When I treated the oxygen sensor connector on my truck, the same one the mechanic said needed complete replacement, my check engine light disappeared within minutes. Even better, the headlights that had been randomly cutting out for months suddenly worked perfectly again.